Recall the adhikaraha of samasantaha, which we know starts from 5468 samasantaha. It goes to the end of that fourth quarter of the fifth chapter of the Ashtadhyayi. So basically it goes to the end of the fifth chapter of the Ashtadhyayi. These are affixes which are prescribed following compounds, and the special feature is that these affixes become part and parcel. They become ending members of the compounds to which they are prescribed. Now within this adhikara of samasantaha, we have already noted that the anuvritti of tatpurushasya starts from 5-4-86 tatpurushasyangulehe sankhyavyyadehe and runs down through all the rules up to the rule 54105. Let us now take an important rule in this section. Sutram is 5491. Rajahas sakhibhyash touch. Straightforward sutram. Vritti says Etadantat tatpurusha touch syat, meaning that following a tatpurushaha compound ending in either rajan or ahan or sakhi, the tadhitaha affix touch is prescribed, and this affix becomes the ending member of the tatpurushaha compound. Now recall that the adhikaraha of tadhitaha starts all the way back from 4176 tadhitaha and goes up to the end of the fifth chapter of the Ashtadhyayi. So all these samasanta pratyayaha are also tadhita pratyayaha, meaning that any operations which are dependent on the affix being a tadhitaha affix do take place when we add a samasantaha affix. Okay, the example here is Kāśi Raja equals Kāśi Rajaha. Of course, there is a sandhi operation taking place here. Padacheda is Kāśehe Raja. Sutram 8.3.14 Rori has been applied after applying Sasajusho Ruhu. So we start with Kāśes Raja, then we get Kāśer Raja, and then after applying 8.3.14 Rori, we get Kāśe Raja. The meaning is King of Kāśi. This Samasaha occurs at the very beginning of the Gita in verse number 5 of chapter 1. Dhrishtaketushchekitanaha Kāśi Rajascha Viryavan. You can immediately tell that a Samasanta has been used here because Rajan is in Akaranta Pradipadikam, but in Kāśi Rajaha we have the Pradipadikam Kāśi Raja, which is a Akaranta Pradipadikam. So something has happened at the end of the compound. It's a good example to keep in mind when chanting the Bhagavad Gita. The very fifth verse, we see the application of this Sutram 5491, Raja has Sakhibhyash touch. The note here says that the sixth case affix in Kāśe is as per the Sutram 2350 Shashti Sheshe. Steps are quite straightforward. The Alaukika Vigraha is Kāśi Nyas plus Rajan Su, compounding prescribed by the Sutram 228 Shashti. As per the Sutram 1243, Prathama Nidrishtam Samas Upasarjanam, the term Kāśi Nyas gets the designation Upasarjanam because in the Sutram 228, which prescribes the compounding, the term Shashti ends in the nominative case. Hence, as per 2230 Upasarjanam Purvam, the term Kāśi Nyas is placed in the prior position in the compound. Now, Kāśi Nyas Rajan Su gets the designation Pratipadikam by 1246 Krit Tadita Samasascha, because we have formed a Samasaha. This allows us to apply 2471 Supodhatu Pratipadikayoho. The next step to perform the look elision on the sup affixes Nyas and Su, which are inside the compound Pratipadikam. So now we have Kāśi Rajan. And now we can apply 5491 Raja has Sakhibhyash touch, because we do have a Tatpurushaha Samasaha ending in Rajan. So therefore we bring in the affix touch. So we get Kāśi Rajan touch. Remove the it letters. The beginning letter gets the its sanya by 137 to 2, and the ending letter cha gets the its sanya by 133 halantyam, and both of them take lopaha by 139 tasya lopaha. Now we have Kāśi Rajan a. Now the Angam Kāśi Rajan has a designation bha here by the Sutram 1418 Yachibham. This allows us to apply 64144 in the next step. Recall the adhikara of bhasya, which runs from 64129 all the way to the end of the fourth quarter, which is to the end of the sixth chapter of the Ashtadhyayi. And Sutram 64144 Nastadhyate is in this adhikara of bhasya. Therefore, we have to make sure that the angam has the bha sanya before we can apply 64144. 64144 tells us that the T portion, which we know by the Sutram 1164 Achontyadi T of a angam is elided provided the angam has a designation bha, ends with the letter na, and is followed by tadhitaha pratyayaha. All conditions are satisfied here. We do have the angam Kāśi Rajan ending in the letter na. It has a designation bha, and the affix touch which follows the angam is a tadhitaha affix, because the Sutram Raja has Sakhibhyash touch 5491 is in the adhikara of tadhitaha, which starts all the way back from 4176 and goes to the end of chapter 5 of the Ashtadhyayi. So now we have to remove the T portion of the Angam Kāśi Rajan. To get the T portion, we start from the last vowel, which is the vowel a before the letter na. So we start from there and go to the end of the term. So we take the letters a and na. That is the T portion, and that takes lopaha by the Sutram 64144. So we now have Kāśi Raj a, which is Kāśi Raja. Now as per the Sutram 2426, Paravalingan Dvandva Tat Purushayoho, the compound Pradipadikam Kāśi Raja is masculine in gender, since the Uttarapadam Rajan is masculine. The compound declines like Rama Shabdaha. Derivation of the compound Krishnasya Sakha equals Krishna Sakha is similar to that of Kāśi Raja shown above, except that Nastadhita is not applicable because the Angam Krishna Sakhi does not end in the letter na. Instead, we apply 64148 Yasyeticha to elide the ending letter E of the Angam Krishna Sakhi. So that's the only difference. Otherwise, the derivation is same as that of Kāśi Raja. And for Ahan, the example is Madhyam Naha equals Madhya Naha, meaning midday. For that, we need a few more rules, so we will have to wait till we get to the Sutram 5488. Ahno na etebhyaha. Once we get there, we will have all that we need to derive the compound Madhya Naha.